Worrying about what your kids get up to online has become one of the realities of modern parenting. And for one parent, those fears were realised when his 12-year-old son spent £7,000 playing poker online.
The dad in question is Keith Hyde and is now working with children's charity Prevention Town to raise awareness of gambling among young people. Over 60,000 children in the UK are thought to be problem gamblers.
Yes, Keith joins us now, the director of Prevention Town, Ross Carroll. Very good morning to you.
Morning to you.
Tell us first of all, Keith, what happened? Tell us the sequence of events.
Well, the sequence of events was my son asked to borrow the card to buy a better card for his mother.
Borrow your credit card?
Yes.
Yep.
The details are already logged on the computer then, and obviously been playing poker with the free apps you can download, very easy accessible, and then he went online for real, and consequently there was my credit card redlined, and obviously he told me what happened, and this is why I'm here now to...
How much money over what period of time?
Well, obviously I got the bill the month later, but I think it was over a week or two that he'd been playing online. It wasn't in one session, because I think he tried to win back the losses, and it's run out of control.
And it was £6,000?
Well, I think it was about... It was several £1,000s, but with interest, I ended up having £7,000.
Goodness me. He was only 12 when this happened. Is this an unusual story, Ross? That
It's becoming more and more
spiral
common.
out of control?
It's becoming more and more common because kids are in playgrounds with their iPhones and their iPads and all these. They can download apps, and there's competitions we're hearing about going on, even with the free games where kids are playing poker tournaments, but for free, not paying with money, and competing with each other to see who can win the most money. So we think the online gambling companies, the gaming industry, are grooming children by starting them early, getting them involved in gambling, whether it be for money or for not, but the competition, the winning, the losing of gaming. And this is why Prevention Town are trying to put the programmes into schools, so the awareness to teach children, using the story of Keith's son, to show what can go wrong if you do get involved in this, whether it be for free or for not. So that's what
I mean, you can tell us more in a moment about how you can practically stop it, but I mean, as a dad, I mean, lots of parents are watching this thinking, do you know what, I'm not entirely sure what my kids are doing on their phones all the time. You can't know that, can you? I mean, do you feel a bit guilty? Do you think you should have known more? Or do you think you're just a victim of
It's like every parent. I mean, I always say this. I mean, in situations a child can sit next to you, right next to you, and play the app, and you wouldn't know he's playing poker. Because they're so accessible, it's so free, and again, it's so easy to go online if you put the wrong details in. In some cases, it's a press of a button to say, I'm 18.
But if Keith had seen a programme such as this, making him aware before this had happened, of saying, look, your kids might be up for 4 hours on their computers or on their mobile phones, just check, show an interest in what your children are doing, you know, and do check to see what they're doing online, because there's far more children out there we know that are playing games such as this, whether it be for money or not for money, and parents need to show more diligence of what their children are doing online.
And our next stage is to put programmes out to the schools now, free of charge, to educate the dangers of this.
I suppose people watching at home will think, well, you gave him your credit card, so in some ways, you know, maybe...
I'm a bit responsible, of course.
Not saying you're responsible, but, you know, he had easy access, and because it's not that easy. I mean, is it that easy for them to do this?
It is that easy, and think about the innocence of it all. Can I buy a birthday card for my mum on a well-known website you know, of course you can. It's £2.99, no problem at all. Why would you suspect anything different? And unfortunately, it turned into what it turned into. And this is why we're campaigning so hard to make sure that other parents are aware and that children are aware that don't get involved in this, because it can escalate. And luckily, Keith was able to get himself out of this situation. There's a lot of families out there financially it could have ruined, could have destroyed. So we just urged the...
And there was no way out of that. I mean, you had to pay the money, didn't you?
Well, of course, my responsibility at the end of the day. I mean, the credit card companies, when I got the bill, it goes to a holding company, so you don't actually know where the money's gone. And then when it came to light, I mean, what do I do? I mean, my son was remorseful and so on and so forth. That's why I done my research and thought, this is so accessible, so easy. And I wanted to start a campaign, and hence why I've got Ross on board to support this.
Anyone who's gone, they're addictive, those. I mean, gambling obviously is addictive, but the whole access to it, everything, the whole
We
package
know
makes it...
gaming is addictive. We know it's addictive. The whole industry knows it's addictive. Yeah, that's why these games shouldn't be accessible to children, because you're insinuating, you know, get involved in an addictive activity from a very young age. Hence why it's important that we get education into the schools from a young age. You know, we're talking about from the first year in secondary school.
And what would you like to see on the websites there? Because you say they can just tick that they're 18, so they should be more checked.
We want to see photographic ID. No different if you go to a casino as an adult now. They will take your photograph. You'll have to give identification to verify who you are. We want that on the websites as well.
That's an expensive way. It's not like adding more software.
Yeah.
A lot of our computers and laptops have built-in webcams anyway, so, you know, visually you can tell, you know, if someone's too young to be playing. So.
Well, I really appreciate you know, coming forward and telling the story, because it's not unique, I'm sure. But thank you. Thank you both very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
9:50 is the time.
It is, yes. And you're watching Breakfast from BBC News. Let's remind you of the main stories this morning and a